students, this is Kamar Sumaira again for the topic of discussion of dictionary skills for BS English students. We have discussed yesterday that what is a good dictionary and how we can master the skill by knowing what is our area of interest to use that dictionary. I have given you the importance that a good dictionary always gives the precise language, precise information about the word and the usage of that word in our sentence. Number two, it provides the grammatical cohesion and the grammatical construction of that word in a sentence too. It elevates our learning status as well while dealing with the words which are unknown. So, it means it elevates not only our learning status, it also provides and motivates us to be correct in our language for our confidence, for building up our confidence. What is the significance of dictionary? This is our today's topic of discussion. Do you feel, ask yourself, do you need a dictionary to be correct or to be beneficial for your growth, for your upgradation? Definitely the answer would always be yes, we need it. Why? Because language is all about the word game. As many words you know, so would be you are confident enough to speak about some topic. Whether definitely correct or incorrect, I won't say at this stage, because at your level you can do small errors, simple errors in a language which could have been corrected by the teachers or the supervisors. But thing is, you must not be such a level of incorrection where you are unaware which word should be correctly put into your sentence. So, dictionary is always there to help you out, and as we discussed yesterday that your online dictionaries are always helpful for you to develop your confidence of writing one sentence or more of the same area or the same kind. So, what do you need? You need precision, you need to avoid ambiguous language, you need to use correct language, you need to cohere your words in a specific condition or in a specific context. Your grammar should be relevant and definitely correct as well. Collocations must be used of the same time, at the same time with the same area. Like say for example, if we take an example of using the word happy versus elated or elevated, definitely it would be a vague word for our reader, because it might be possible that he is unknown to the word elated, but he is known to the word happy, gregarious. So, use those words which are familiar to your readers for your research work, because we are dealing with the academic writing where the academia makes the things easy rather than more difficult. Second one is the correct usage of the word while knowing the grammar and definitely the collocation. So, saying the word make a decision, it is better to say do a decision. What will be right? Definitely it is not do a decision, it is always make a decision, to come at the decision or decisive point. It depends on your topic of discussion wherever you are using that word. Number 3 is all about your using the same text taken from somewhere and you are going to copy paste it as your own by your name. So, this is called plagiarism, which is an act of offense not only for the supervisor but also for you, but also for the higher authorities as well, because at this level when you are taking the copy pasted material of someone else and you are writing down it by your own name in your report or in your research, definitely it brings some very serious results for you, especially in your academia. So, paraphrase is a good choice at your level, that paraphrase or use the synonymous themes for describing the same theme or for the same area of topic or the discussion. Paraphrasing needs synonyms with the same register. For example, the spellings, the edges, the class, example, sentences, how you are going to join all of them. Definitely, I am not saying that do and take the jumble words from the paragraph and you are going to make a haphazard connection in between them. Paraphrasing does need your understanding and comprehension of the things you are reading and then write it down into your own words. So, it will help you out to elevate your academic writing, your critical thinking, as well as definitely your understanding of some particular text. What are the different types of dictionaries? Next topic of discussion keeps us understanding that what would be the things that we should have to get our focus to our own area of study. You should know what? It is one case. How to use it, it is another case. And type and option that you need to take from a dictionary, that is another case. So, types of dictionaries needs your information. What are you consulting? Number 2, how to use that dictionary, and number 3, for sure, that how the information should be collected. You know, consulting a dictionary needs our skill of scanning, and that scanning means finding out the particular or the specific word from our dictionary and leaving the details whatever are there around the word. So, it does mean focus your eye connection with only, or your eye contact with the word that you are looking for, and once you have found, that becomes your discourse marker for your information as, and to pick it up for your use, that is important. I have given you the example of selecting the word from your dictionary, then finding out the meaning out of it, and then how to use it in some particular manner in our previous lecture too. So, definitions in simple English are given in your learner's dictionary. This is your first type. Oxford Learners, Cambridge Learners Dictionary, collocation dictionaries, these are all the different types of dictionaries that we need to collect, for which reason, that to which area we need to find out that word. Being a student of literary and non-literary text, you need linguistic dictionary as well as some literary dictionary, and I have also provided the names in my previous lecture as well. Another one could be your corpus based dictionary that brings the real examples from your academia and brings you the information that how to collect the information of a word at different perspectives. Collocation is your winning combo, let's say for example, and other dictionaries develops a habit to find out the specific information from the given target area of your study. So, it means types take us towards our relevant area of study, what do we want. Now, the question may rise, you may ask a question that should we have to bear all the dictionaries at home, or should we purchase all the dictionaries at home? No, it is not a case, but you must have at least one standard dictionary. This is what I have been announcing from the last week's lecture to now, that for vocabulary development, for dictionary development, you must have one good dictionary of your own area. Like for example, if you want to improve a language and the language structures and the vocabulary, spellings, whatever, the syntax of the language, definitely you must have Oxford, that is the standard. Number 2, if you are a student of some specific area, you need of your own area study dictionary. For example, sportsman needs a sports dictionary, a medical doctor needs a medical dictionary, an engineer needs the technical erratic field of that one particular field of that one in which he is in. For example, chemical engineers needs chemical dictionary or chemical devices dictionary. Like we people from literature, we need language as linguistic dictionary. David Crystal's dictionary is available for your all key terms in linguistics. And number 2, literary dictionary, that could be a Longman's dictionary. I defined it yesterday as well. So, it means you must be known which one dictionary would be of your own area and would be beneficial for you. You may use the game of language items to be crossed with one another while dealing one particular word from your dictionary. That brings one thing inside you, and that is what? To be analytical, to be critical for finding the word in the dictionary and to use it at your own choice in some other sentence. So, we do consult many words from our dictionary, but how to retain that information, that becomes a challenge for all the students. I have given a number of tips that do remember the synonymous sentences, do use the appropriate other sentences of the same structure or the same kind, or slightly change the word in your mind that you might have learnt about or related to that word somewhere else. Head words are quite important over here to learn the words while developing your vocabulary and consulting your dictionaries, because there are many words which shows us of like one word could have another head word. Now, you are familiar with the head word, the base or the root of the word. So, the word, for example, I give you an example of the word inform. Inform is a word that is spelled as INFORM. It seems like it has originated from the word form. No, it is not a case, because if you break down this one word inform into in and form, two distinct morphemes which are definitely present in our language, the head word you have chosen as a form does not give you the same sense or the meaning as inform would provide you. So, this is the way how we are going to analyze the word even present in the dictionary. You are a linguist, you are a literary person, you know it well how to master, how to connect the information of various lines, of various words, of various informative props to bring the distinction among all. So, in dictionary it is clearly told that one word is given over here from your left side to on, the word is provided, next to it there would be the phonetic transcription, after it could be any, like your syntactic category, the word as a noun, the verb might be given, then the meaning in one form, in one context, number one. Number two, another form of that word to be used, like I have provided the example of using bank, head, face. There are multiple examples of polysemy. So, one word that may occur in multiple conditions or contexts are all provided in a good dictionary. You just need to be focused and clear in your mind that if you are finding out the meaning of a word for one context, try to memorize what are the other ones as well. One good choice that I have adopted myself for consulting my Oxford Dictionary at home, I use to underline the words so that for the next time when I open it up, it would always be helpful for me that I have already gone through this word. That would always be there in your mind. So, one after another, whenever you are consulting your dictionary, actually you are revising your vocabulary bank as well. So, starting from my previous lecture from the bank, I am signing it off on the same word, vocabulary bank. On the whole, dictionary skills lead you towards developing and authenticating your vocabulary skills. That is all from our 2 lectures discussion. Hope to come up with something new and to end up our whole subject matter by next week. Till that time, stay blessed. Have a nice day.